So today we see a recovery. However, let's be honest, it is not a very good recovery because the idea that the market is weakening, that it is dangerously losing momentum is still valid. So I'm going to update you guys on the key turning points in the market for you to keep an eye on next week. Let's see what to expect next and of course, what kind of reaction could actually reject the idea of a pullback on the SPY and QQQ. Let's talk about it. My name is Nathan. Welcome to the Finance Hydra channel where we analyze stocks every single day. Every single day, sharing insights here on this channel, so you are welcome to another daily analysis video. And yes, we see the SPY ETF going up a little bit, okay? It is trying to recover, however, guys, that's not the best recover ever, okay? That's definitely not the best one. In fact, SPY is still dangerously weak. The idea of a pullback is still totally valid. You may ask why, and the answer is very simple. Today, we failed to break yesterday's high and we lost yesterday's low. For a brief moment, of course, but still, we lost yesterday's low. We failed to close above the 682, the previous inflection point that we can observe better on the 1 hour chart over here. It was our previous support level, and then we saw a bearish pivot point. Now, if you ask me, SPY bounced today just to retest this 21-hour EMA, the exponential moving average on the 1 hour chart, as a resistance level. Okay, just to retest it as a resistance level, because that's what this 21-hour EMA has been doing, right? Resistance level here, 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 here again, 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 and again, and again. Okay, so this key point is clearly a very dangerous inflection point for the SPY. Now, in this case, since SPY is losing momentum short-term wise, reversing the short-term trend, as we can see on the 1 hour chart, this only reinforces the idea of a pullback on the daily chart. Again, remember guys, pullback. I'm not saying reversal, I'm saying pullback. SPY medium-term wise on the daily chart is still insanely bullish. I'm not saying it is bearish, okay? It is bullish, all right? But it is losing momentum in the short term. And by making a pullback on the daily chart, we see the possibility of seeing SPY retesting our next support levels. And guys, we have many support levels to hold SPY's price. First one, 674 area. Second one, we have this 21-day EMA. Third one, and last one, we have this open gap over here near around 672.71. So guys, we have a triple support level in this area. Okay, in theory, it is going to be extremely difficult for the SPY to lose this triple support level, okay, because we gotta see a very strong, a very powerful reversal in play to actually materialize a breakdown of this support level. For now, we are far away from this support level, okay? So that's why I'm telling you guys, the idea of a pullback is still valid. And then we'll see. Again, as far as I know, any bottom signal in this support level could be another buying opportunity. That's what I told you guys yesterday, okay, in yesterday's video. So far, everything is going according to the plan. Some people started to panic yesterday. But Nathan, in the post-market, we see SPY, QQQ, etc. going up nicely. Yes, they are. But guys, we always gotta wait for confirmation. Okay, always wait for confirmation. When I see people behaving like this, it only shows how people are emotionally vulnerable to how not only how the market is doing, but to their own emotions. Okay, they seek for confirmation. They want to see the market confirming, so they act like cheerleaders. Okay, so guys, we are not cheerleaders. We only see what the market is doing right now, and we always keep you guys updated every single day by the end of the day, okay? Now we see another bearish candle. We failed to reject yesterday's bearish candle, so yes, the bearish case is still valid, all right, short-term wise, okay? And then after reaching the support level, we'll see. But Nathan, what if we lose the support level of yours down here? Then SPY is not gonna be a buy. It's very simple, okay? We simply don't buy. We don't have to trade every single time, all right? So it is not gonna be a buy. And speaking by myself over here, I rarely trade the SPY ETF, okay? I always see better opportunities in individual stocks, all right? But SPY, I use it as a benchmark only, okay? Now, but Nathan, what could possibly frustrate the idea of a pullback over here? Because this could happen, right? And of course it could happen. In this case, if you want to see SPY resuming the bullish bias, you want to see the SPY materializing this double bottom chart pattern, okay? This reaction over here kind of frustrates the idea of a double bottom, but still we may see the materialization of a double bottom next week if on Monday we see a nice bullish reaction, not losing this support level but breaking the previous resistance level, which is today's high. Okay, if we break today's high next week without losing today's low, okay, we are gonna materialize a double bottom, and that's the single bullish reaction, that's the single technical evidence that could save the market from a sharper correction right now, as far as I can see, in my humble view, okay? So guys, let's observe today's high very closely, okay? Because we could see another recovery, but again, I'm not counting too much on that. If you ask me, I would prefer to see a pullback, okay? Because a pullback would improve the risk-reward ratio in many other stocks. All right, now we see the QQQ. This one, as I also told you guys yesterday, QQQ is more bullish than the SPY ETF. Tech stocks are more resilient. And we can clearly see right here why. Today's high was above yesterday's high, while today we failed to make a new low, lower than yesterday's low, unlike SPY, which made the opposite, new low and a lower high. QQQ made a higher high and a higher low. All right, so that's a very nice. It shows some resilience. It shows that the QQQ is more resilient than the SPY ETF. Tech stocks are stronger in general. However, on the 1 hour chart, we also see the idea of a double bottom. So hey, there is no escape, okay? There are no excuses over here. We still gotta see the actual materialization of a bullish frustration in order to see the QQQ recovering, seeking higher levels again. All right, for now, I'm still skeptical, okay? Just skeptical, all right? Some people may believe that I'm bearish over here. Again, guys, I'm not bearish, okay? SPY, QQQ, they are still bullish medium-term wise. However, we are reversing the short-term trend, okay? So it is never even my opinion. This channel is not about opinions. It's about facts, charts, and statistics. Okay, now we see QQQ losing momentum, making another bearish candle. A pullback would be very nice, and here we have another triple support level near the 613, near the 611 to close this gap, and of course near the 21-day EMA. Okay, triple support level. It is going to be insanely difficult for the QQQ to lose this support area. Okay, therefore I'm telling you guys, any bottom signal near the support level could be another buying opportunity. But guys, for now, there is no frustration of a bearish, of a pullback thesis yet. Okay, for now, there is no rejection yet. You know, we have one stock in this list. You guys see right here, right, on this list that is making an actual frustration of a top signal. We are going to talk about it in a minute. For now, Nvidia going down. It is actually going down, right? So it is clearly weaker than the broad market, making another bearish candle. Yes, we made a high higher than yesterday's high, but however, again, we see another bearish candle. On the 1 hour chart, we see some stabilization, okay? We are still above the 21-hour EMA at least, okay? That's good. That's actually good. But if we see Nvidia losing this support level, namely the $201.42, we may see another bearish pivot point on the 1 hour chart, and that would only reinforce the bearish case over here in the short term, suggesting a pullback on the daily chart. Any pullback will find the 195 or the 21-day EMA as our next major support levels. The trend is still bullish, okay? But guys, now is the time for us to pay attention, all right? It's to pay attention, okay? Now is definitely not the time to buy. And again, guys, I say this as a long-term investor in Nvidia since 2020. October 2020, okay? Now is not the time to buy. The time to buy was right here when I told you guys in this channel, by the way. Okay, guys, if we see breakout of the 184, we're gonna make a double bottom above the 21-day EMA, and that could lead us back to the 200s. I told you guys this here on this channel, okay? It's public there is public evidence of this on this channel, okay? So now we are far away from our support levels after breaking our first target near the 200s. Guys, it's not a good idea to buy in this specific circumstance, okay? If you want to buy, okay, go for it. For me, it's the time to sell. And then if we see Nvidia going up, okay, that's not my problem, okay? It's the problem for those who bought Nvidia right here. To me, Nvidia, I'm totally neutral on it right now, expecting a pullback so we can buy again near our support level. All right, that's very simple. And then we sell again near our resistance levels. All right, that's how we do every single day. Okay, now we see Tesla. This one is actually making a bottom signal above our 21-day EMA. That's very good. Tesla looks very resilient right now. You may say, Nathan, do we see a kind of rounded bottom or maybe a cup and handle chart pattern? And yes, we may see. Either way, guys, either way, we are maintaining the uptrend. We are still bullish, all right? We are still bullish, going up nicely, and I have a personal target around $488. Okay, that's my personal target on it. I did share a nice trading signal on Tesla last week on our live stream, okay, which is available to the members of our Telegram channel, all right? If you want to trade with me, join our Telegram channel, okay? Join the 5% project. Link is in this video description. It's totally free to try. You can even join our next live stream this Monday, okay, next Monday, and see for yourself how we work, all right? And I gave you guys the signal right here during our live stream this week, all right, guys? Bottom signal, pivot point on the 1 hour chart. It could be a buy signal, yes, and our next technical target is 488. Again, we see the confirmation, another confirmation signal of a bullish case. So that's very nice. Okay, that's very nice. It only reinforces the bullish bias on the weekly chart. I know Tesla is far away from the 21 weekly moving average. We could see a pullback over here, maybe a kind of double top over here, right? But still, as long as we see Tesla above the 21-day EMA, right? Not making lower highs, lower lows, but only higher highs, higher lows, the uptrend will persist. All right, we just reported earnings, so we have plenty of time to materialize another movement. And if you ask me, even considering that Tesla has high beta, all right, beta of 1.91, it still has a decent chance of recovering even with the broad market correcting. Okay, because we are talking about Tesla, all right? Tesla has its own life, okay? It is a stock detached from the broad market. It is not like Nvidia, which dictates the market, right? Dictates the semiconductor industry and of course the broad market, and of course the broad market automatically, nearly automatically. Okay, so Nvidia kind of dictates the market. Tesla behaves despite of what the market is doing. Okay, so yes, it's a very nice stock to trade right now. I really like it, and I have my own ideas about it. Okay, so remember, if you want to trade with me, join our Telegram channel. Only there I give you guys signals, strategies in real time. I describe the entry point, stop loss, target in detail for every single one of our trades. Okay, every single one of them every day in our Telegram channel. All right, we have literally hundreds of people over there making money every single day. So if you want to learn how to trade like a pro, how to trade like a real trader, then join us over there. Link is in this video's description. Okay, now we have our dear Amy. AMD, some people believe it's AMD, right? No guys, in this channel it's AMD. Okay, for those who know AMD better, we know that it's AMD. Okay, and we see Amy going down, failed. This one also failed to break and close above the 257. So we had a previous top signal over here, which was triggered, and right now today we failed to reject the idea of a top signal. So guys, as far as I know, this top signal is still valid. But Nathan, what if we see a impressive bullish reaction tomorrow? I mean, that would be a miracle because tomorrow is Saturday, all right? So next week, okay, Monday, what if we see miraculous reaction on Monday? Okay, maybe we're gonna frustrate the idea of a top signal for now. But guys, earnings in 4 days. Okay, we have earnings in 4 days, November 4th, okay? So I do not advise holding stocks for swing trading purposes during earnings report. Okay, it is a sell. Either way, it's a sell. So guys, again, for swing trading, if you are a long-term investor, that's totally fine. But if you are a swing trader, if you like to optimize your performance, buying and selling, nailing good support levels and selling at good resistance levels, okay, you can outperform the market by doing that, of course, if you have a solid strategy, if you have a clear method to do that. But guys, I do not advise holding your stock during earnings report. Okay, that's crazy. All right, earnings are too unpredictable. Maybe AMD is going to fly like Amazon, but maybe it could collapse like Meta did as well. Okay, so we don't know, we never know. As far as I know, AMD could be a sell. All right, it is a sell right now at this very point, close to earn. Since we are near to earnings, that's the perfect moment to sell. If you bought with me over here, I gave you guys the signal on our Telegram channel to buy AMD right here. Okay, if you are still holding your position, that's the perfect moment to sell. And then after earnings report, we'll see if the risk reward ratio is good. Okay, we can buy again, right? We can easily buy again. I would love to see AMD collapsing, people panicking over some crazy news, all right, regarding AMD. Maybe AMD is not going to completely, it is not going to meet our expectations over here, so we're gonna collapse, okay? And then we see the market collapsing. That's gonna be fantastic, because we may see AMD approaching our next support levels, and we have many: 242, 235, 21-day EMA, 227. We have many 4 support levels to hold AMD's price if we see another pullback. So that's not gonna be a reason to panic. It would be an opportunity. All right, so of course, depending on how AMD reacts, okay? Because if we lose all of these support levels, then it is not gonna be a buy. But odds are that we're gonna see a meaningful reaction near this support level. Okay, now we have our dear Palantir over here. Palantir is the stock, is the example I told you guys earlier. Guys, remember, I told you we have one stock frustrating, actually frustrating our previous top signal. And this one is Palantir. We are not only rejecting this candle over here, but we are breaking and closing above it. We made a new record high. So if you have any bullish thesis on the SPY, QQQ, that's the reaction you want to see them doing. Okay, you want to see them rejecting our previous bearish candles, flying, breaking, making a new record high, and closing above our previous bearish candles. Okay, so that's the reaction you want. Palantir is insanely bullish. On the 1 hour chart, unlike many of the stocks we analyzed over here, is still making higher highs, higher lows. All right, above the 21-hour EMA, so we are far away from reversing. But I do understand that if we lose this 21-hour EMA, making a lower high, lower low over here, yes, we may see another pullback. And guys, Palantir is going to report earnings in 3 days. Okay, 3 days. Definitely, it is not a good moment to buy right now from a purely risk-reward ratio point of view. Okay, because we don't know. Maybe it is going to collapse. Maybe it's going to fly. Either way, it is not important. That's not important because it all depends on the risk-reward relationship. All right, right now it is not good. It is not good to sell. It is not good to buy. So I'm totally neutral on Palantir in spite of understanding that it is maintaining the bullish bias. Again, if you ask me, I would love to see pullback to this triple support level near the 190s, 186, 21-day EMA, right? Any pullback to this support level could be another buying opportunity. All right, so that's how I see Palantir right now. And we have our dear SoFi, right? We have Amy, we have SoFi. We have many ladies over here. I mean, this is not true. Out of curiosity, do you know that in my channel, 89% of my audience is male. That's crazy, right? Maybe I have a natural talent to repel women, but 89% is men. We are mostly men, all right? We have few ladies watching me in this channel, so yes, this is crazy, right? So that's why we have SoFi, we have Amy, right? To kind of have more ladies over here, okay? So guys, SoFi, support level, okay? $28.84, 21-day EMA, and we are reacting. We are far away from earnings report, earnings in 94 days. We are making a bottom signal above this double support level. This bottom signal has a name. It is a Dragonfly Doji. So I'm not an advisor, okay? I'm not, guys, I'm not here to give you guys recommendations, etc. But sometimes it's crazy, right? I mean, we see a phenomenal bottom signal above a double support level. If the risk-reward ratio is good for you, of course, you can buy, okay? You have my blessing if that's what you're waiting for. Yes, you have my blessing in this case. We are still maintaining the bullish bias. We are above this purple trend line. But Nathan, what if next week we lose this double support level? Guys, by losing the 21-day EMA, the $28.84, by rejecting today's candle, yes, we are going to certainly frustrate the idea of a bottom signal over here. Either way, it is looking quite promising, okay? Either way, we see a nice reaction. Of course, it could be just a bounce to the 21-day EMA. So if I were you, I would wait for more confirmation next week. All right, it is a little bit too soon to tell, but it is a very promising signal. Okay, so yes, my dear friends, SoFi looks very, very promising. It is on my personal radar. Okay, it is on my personal radar. So if we see the confirmation of a bottom signal over here next week, then it's over. Okay, that's all we need. All right, that's all we need to trade SoFi again. And that's all I'm going to say in this video. And we have MicroStrategy going up nicely, 6% roughly. Okay, that's very nice. We reported earnings yesterday. Okay, so now we are flying, recovering very nicely, if you ask me. This one is still bearish. Okay, it is clearly bearish. All right, I would like to see, I would love to see strategy going down a little bit more, maybe to retest the 230s down here. Okay, but by seeing this reaction over here, the idea of another bounce to the 21-day EMA gets simply stronger than ever. All right, we see a possible bottom signal. What's missing over here? A clear close above 279. Okay, on the weekly chart, on the other hand, on the weekly chart, we have no clear bottom signal yet. Okay, we are still collapsing from the previous top near 455 to the $269 down here. Okay, so it was a huge collapse. All right, we are insanely bearish, but the idea of a bounce is totally valid in this context. I would love to see a close above 279 just for confirmation's sake. Okay, but yes, strategy looks very nice, but it is not the kind of stock I would buy right here, right now, in this very moment. Okay, I see other stocks, like for instance SoFi. Okay, for instance, example, right? Not on a device. Okay, for example, we have better stocks right now. Okay, this one could bounce, but a bounce, okay, could be another dead cat bounce, because that's what strategy has been doing. Okay, we do not see clear movement yet, so I'm still very skeptical. And right now, oh my god, my cat scared me. Okay, my cat's here in my office. Oh my god, this is so scary. I was not aware she was in my office. Okay, my heart is racing. Okay, guys, SoundHound AI. Okay, SoundHound AI trying to make a bottom signal, above a support level. I would love to buy SoundHound. Okay, but the only problem, earnings in 6 days. Okay, again, we can't hold stocks during earnings report. And it is very difficult to imagine SoundHound materializing a double bottom over here, right, before earnings report. Okay, so although I see a nice bottom signal above a support level, I will pass this one. Okay, it is not for me, not right now. Okay, we bought SoundHound AI many times in the past. Okay, we bought here, sold here, bought here, sold here, bought here again, right, sold here again. Now it is not the time to buy. Okay, not for me at least. Okay, so I will stay on the sidelines waiting for another clear opportunity. If you ask me, I would love to see SoundHound collapsing after earnings, maybe to retest one of our next support levels, like the $15 or maybe even the 13s again. That would be phenomenal. But right now, the risk-reward ratio is not valid. We are near earnings report. I do not see a clear, amazing opportunity yet. What's more, the indices are not helping over here. I would prefer to see the indices near their own support levels as well, and making bottom signals to reinforce, to justify the possibility of buy SoundHound AI in this context. Okay, either way, I'm gonna stay here, right, every single day in this channel to keep you guys updated on the market. So subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet, and click on the like button to support this channel as well. Okay, join our Telegram channel if you want to trade with us. Join our live stream next week. See if you like what we have to offer in our Telegram channel. Thank you so much for your audience, my dear friends. Stay safe. See you guys on Monday. Bye bye.